2, 1. Hi, this is Jim, the Keys bartender. This is the same broadcast as yesterday. What was that song? I'm Henry VIII. I am. It's going to be a little bit louder, but not a little bit worse. And that's part of the thing. You never heard that song?
Yeah.
I'm Henry VIII. I am. And I'm back with Natalie Barefoot. And unfortunately, I am unversed in audio, and I just learned that the best way to get sound out of microphones is coming from the master audio out, not just from some audio out that I've been using for weeks. I think I remedied that, and I apologize to Natalie for missing that opportunity yesterday, but she was great. And
it was amazing.
It was amazing. It was good stuff. Yeah, it was good stuff. And we're going to in 2 days I'm going on a cruise on
so much fun. Yeah,
and Carnival with my family and two groups of other families with their kids where all our kids are friends, and I'll be doing 3 podcasts from that. And I just wanted to, Natalie's a friend of mine, and she was so kind to come on the show. And I said, you know what? I'm going to dedicate this show. It's titled The Real Nitwit Walks Into an Interview. Because here I am, the hypocrite, calling someone a nitwit, walking in a bar and not knowing how to behave. And here I am doing a podcast and not knowing how to record. But you know what? I'm done beating myself now. I'm just going to, like an adult, move on and address those things.
But here's the deal. And for me to do this, what I want from you is while you're on the Carnival cruise, if you see any dolphins, take pictures and send them to me.
I will do that. Yeah. Oh gosh. Oh, easy. I'll do that's it. Okay.
That's it.
Well, that's an easy one. I would have done that anyway.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah. I would have done that anyway.
That.
Okay. Yeah. Well, and if you listened to it yesterday and you listened to half the show, I guess because half the time you wouldn't hear Natalie Barefoot is a lawyer, and she's the executive director of Set Law. Mm-hmm. And it's an advocacy group for, I can't say it today, we're not drinking, we're drinking coffee. Cetaceans. For Cetaceans.
Perfect.
Yes. Salutations on those cetaceans.
The first time I said it, in fact, there's a blog on my website about pronouncing some of these words, and the first time I said it, because I'd only read it and I hadn't heard it spoken to me, I said cetacean, and I was up in front of a group of people who were kind of whales. It was my first,
Well, you should just throw on a French accent, and they would have said cetacean. That's how we pronounce it in France. Well, how do you do that? We are close. We are Latin language, and this is what we do. No, I mean, I made. I was in software sales one time. I'll tell you something silly. I mean, it's not as maybe as magnitude as that, but I'm making a presentation to the dean of the Johns Hopkins Medical School for medical education software, and I'm in front of them. And Natalie May got that about me. I don't show the terror that I have when I'm doing something. I just go ahead and do it.
Excellent.
But I have it. I feel it. And that's that weirdness that comes out sometimes. So I'm doing a presentation. I'm with the vice president of my company I work for, and he is intimidated as crap. And I'm just going ahead. I put in dummy information, meaning sample information, and I'm going blah, 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 and saying all this stuff about the software. And then I finally say, you know what? You should have this for your law school, too. And the dean goes, we don't have a law school. And I look, I went like this and said, well, you think if you're a doctor, doctors need lawyers. Remember, malpractice suits? I went like that. And the vice president of the company just slinks down, and everyone's quiet. And the guy, this big old Irish guy, starts laughing his ass off. And he said that was a good one. And they bought it. They bought it. Yeah. And it was funny. But I digress. We're going to get back to cetaceans.
Cetaceans.
Okay. Congratulations on being able to say cetaceans. Not crustaceans.
Crustaceans.
But is it... And we could. There's a lot of stuff we could do with rhyming it. It's about the emancipation of cetaceans.
Well, so that's a cool thing. You brought up the French, accent. In French, cétacé is how you would say cetaceans, but it also it's another phrase, cétacé, which is that's enough. Like,
I know French.
Yeah.
C'est tasse.
Yeah.
C'est T-E-C-A tilde under the C. Right?
And then a...
Well, you're from Canada, so you're like...
Yeah.
That's your second language, right? Are you from the French part of Canada?
I'm not. I'm from the English-speaking part of it.
Are you Native American at all with that name?
No,
I thought that was so barefoot.
Yeah, a lot of people think that. It's actually, it's Scottish.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, so are you related to William Wallace?
Not that I'm aware of.
Can you do the speech?
I cannot.
In front of it?
We have a feeling that we were pretty poor people, maybe cobblers, because of our name, Barefoot.
Well, if you're cobblers, you wouldn't be barefoot. You would have made your shoes, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It'd be a shoemaker.
That's true. So
Shoemaker.
we were just poor then.
Oh my God! You were the people that couldn't be. They didn't have enough wherewithal. Mine's Haran, and I think it's. I think it means empty bucket. No, I don't know what it means. But we're Irish, so I'm from a pretty. There's some famous Harans, but it's not a direct lineage.
Yeah.
Of that. And I don't know how much I'm doing for the name right myself.
You're doing great stuff.
Oh, yeah? You think so? Well, let's get back. We're going back to the whale stuff. Whale. So we're talking about whales, porpoises, dolphins. What's and this is a biological. What's the confusion? Where's the porpoise and the dolphin, the difference between the two?
Yeah, so dolphins and porpoises look very similar. The heads are a little more rounded on the porpoises. They're typically a little smaller. Their teeth are shaped differently. They're, I believe it's cone-shaped teeth for the dolphins and like these spade teeth.
And I apologize. I don't mean to put you on the spot. Because Natalie's an advocate for rights for these animals. And there's biologists and people like that. I've had a lot of go-rounds with people on from... that amusement, that amusement park in mid part of the state. I don't want to say it. I don't want to give a free advertisement to them. And I did go there as a child before I was aware that we were imprisoning something that shouldn't be in prison. And you take them out of their natural environment. And I understand it causes them mental distress. It breaks them from their family unit. I know the pods stay together. I'm not an expert on it, but I just say I do eat meat, and I feel bad about that. I know I do. I know sometimes I hunger, and if you ever get on a boat with me, if I'm, I should be the one that should be eaten first because I will eat everyone else. I don't know why that came out like that, and I'm going on a cruise ship. I always have this thing about it. I talk about, animals. Well, you eat animals. And I go, yeah, I do eat animals. And you know what? Chickens have personality, and pigs have personality, and cows have personality. And they're still delicious to me. I guess it's that, for me, it's that stereotype or the traditional cultural thing for these higher order mammals. And what got you interested in it? What was your first...
Oh, goodness. I've just always been drawn to, whales and dolphins. I had them plastered all over my wall growing up. Would kind of drag my parents to go whale watching if we were ever close to it on vacation. I feel just so rightfully placed when I'm out on the sea on a boat. That's where I should be. And I ended up going down a real practical route for my studies. I studied accounting, and then
is that what George Washington?
Yeah.
University?
Yeah.
That's in D.C., right?
In D.C., yeah.
Okay,
so, yeah,
and you could have went into the political. Well, you kind of did go to it as an advocate. That's part of the process, right?
Yeah.
Do you think? And I noticed that you were in New Zealand. Yeah. Now, how long were you down? What were you doing? Give me. You studied accounting in George Washington University, right? You had this affinity for whales, dolphins, porpoises.
Yeah.
You go and you am I being facile going through that, glossing over it, and then all of a sudden, what do you do after George Washington?
So after GW, I worked for two years. I worked in international development with a not-for-profit. I worked 2 years in DC, and then I moved to Africa, to Zimbabwe, for 4 years.
I saw that Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
Was it? And what years were they?
Oh my goodness! I arrived there in 1998, and I left there in 2002.
Mugabe was in charge
Exactly,
then.
yeah.
I'm a political scientist.
Yeah, he's still in charge.
Yeah, he's still in charge. It's a dictatorship there.
They call it a democratic dictatorship.
Well, just like a social,
Yeah.
like just like in the communist or in Russia, whatever you want to call it, from the right or the left. It's demagoguery to me.
Yes,
all the same. But some, it's weird. I got a little. There was in Dominican Republic. If you look at the island of Hispaniola, Dominican Republic and Haiti occupy it.
Yeah.
If you go over it and you look at satellite pictures, and you'll see a stark difference in the geography and the color, and there's a reason for it. The dictator in the Dominican Republic was a huge conservationist. Just like everyone has their thing that they're big on, and this is what he did. And he was horrible to the people that were looking for freedom and stuff like that. But you know what? His legacy is a healthy country. Inadvertently. Because I don't know if you can... Well, I mean, if he had intended to be that way, to do that, if it took a dictator to say, listen, we need to do this, and you're going to destroy everything, and I have to do this. And you do it, and you leave it for... people to educate themselves and say, this was actually a good thing. But I don't think he did that for that reason. It was just a byproduct of one of the things he was interested in. And God, couldn't more people be like that? If you're going to, hey, listen, if I'm getting tortured, I'm a freedom activist. I know what, what? If things were to get really bad here, I don't imagine I would be... high up on the list of supporters of this current regime, and I think I probably would be. I don't think they'll get that bad. We have I can't believe it, but I mean, who knows? Why did I go that direction?
So we were in Zimbabwe.
We were in Zimbabwe, and Mugabe was in charge. And what was going on there? Was that food, education, literacy, or swamp fever? Or?
Yeah. So I was there on a project where we were implementing a USAID project, so the U.S. government agency for international development. And we were working with different organizations there who were advocating for change in laws towards Parliament, because Parliament was looked at as one of the only democratic institutions there, with the executive branch being run by Mugabe and the judges basically being under his thumb. There was a opposition voice in Parliament, although not majority. There was a minority voice that was strong and getting stronger. So that living in that country and living under a regime that used the law to oppress, which to me was just like you couldn't wrap your head around it. The Freedom of Journalism Act was actually oppressing journalists. That inspired me to come back, and the work we were doing there to do law. And that's when I came back to Miami, and I wanted to focus on the environment because that's always been my love. And I came to Miami because it used to be an ocean and coastal law program. It's turned into a maritime law program recently. So they have a lot of course offerings that were appealing to me, with the law of the oceans and coastal law.
There were some big things that went this past year about, and we're talking about wetlands and ocean. It's all connected because here we have a lot of pollution is caused because of the canals, the restriction of the flow of waters,
in the
Everglades to the Florida Bay. This is minutia that a lot of the people here that are listening in other countries don't understand. But there's been a lot of alterations to the free flow of water in the Florida Bay, and a lot of the canals that were dug in the Keys actually contribute to the pollution, and obviously all the boaters and stuff like that. And then we have the coral reef issue with the coral reef.
Yeah, absolutely. And so my work now with whales and dolphins, all of those things are interconnected. When you talk about the pollution, I've been told, I haven't independently researched it, by someone who volunteers with one of the dolphin organizations down here, that the dolphins that are on the bay side here in the Florida Keys die on average 10 years earlier than the ones that are held on the ocean side in facilities that are based there. Now that's, probably pollution based, and those are indicators of what's going on in our ocean. And if they're being affected that much, think about how we're affecting humans and the fish that we consume from the Gulf and in the Florida Bay. The Miccosukee tribe actually filed a lawsuit against the state of Florida, challenging the surface water emissions, because they were just lowered this past year. And one of the reasons for that is because it would affect the fish they ate. More pollutions in it meant that they're polluting one of their food sources. But in my eyes as well, it's also the dolphins' food source. So you see this bioaccumulation in the dolphins, and they get sick. It's an indicator of what's going to be happening to us.
There was a huge die-off recently of the seagrass on the bay side. I met NOAA researchers about 8 years ago that were coming in and studying the salinity changes in the back country in Florida Bay, where because you don't have the fresh water flowing in, that it's a more shallow body, so evaporation affects it greatly there and raises the saline content, and then you less flow coming in, you have less movement and things like that. And we had the BP disaster, and then people. The reason why I'm dressing as a Keys bartender, we're just not. We talk about Nitwit walks in a bar and things like that, but usually the people I know in our industry are concerned about the things that go around them. And it's a big enough issue that almost any show should be able to address something like that.
Yeah.
Because it's a fact. If your oceans aren't healthy and the highest order of the mammals there, it's indication of something being wrong.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and if we're not, and I mentioned yesterday that we have children's advocates and things like that. As well we should. Mm-hmm. These are voices for people that don't have representation and voices. And what the things we meant, what do you specifically, what are you trying to do right now for that to protect them? And what can people do and I'm not trying to do that as a wrap-up question. I want to get in there so we can drill down a little deeper onto it. So let's first, right now, what are you working on with that? Okay,
so I'm working on, there's 2 projects that I'm working on right now. The majority of my time is being spent, or Setlaw's time is being spent on, and one is the climate change that we talked about. So humans, Jim, when he dies, he will have emitted more carbon into the atmosphere than he will have absorbed. And whales, not all whales, they're still doing studies on them, but sperm whales, humpback whales, and it depends where they are too, located in the world. Through the life of their existence, they will actually absorb more carbon than they will emit, and they do that in 3 ways. The first is they defecate, they poop.
Everyone, I read a book years ago, and it said everybody poops, and some people poop a lot more than others. Okay, and what happens with the defecant?
So they poop at the surface.
Shit happens, right? You heard that, yeah.
And they're moving around. Hi.
Yep, there
you go.
There's an orca. We have an orca there.
We are interviewing an orca too. So yes, if you heard a meow, and if you hear
that is Natalie's cat, Orca, a beautiful white and gray cat.
Yes.
So we were talking about that defecant when it falls.
Yeah, when it hits the surface, it actually has nutrients in areas of the ocean that are nutrient poor. So it helps to feed the phytoplankton and zooplankton, which uses photosynthesis, which absorbs carbon. And the second way they do that is pretty similar, as their movement through the oceans and diving down and coming up brings nutrients from the different levels up to the surface and mixes it around, doing pretty much the same thing, allowing nutrients and even the plankton that's sinking to come back up to the surface and keep on, photosynthesizing. And then the third way is when they die, their bodies fall to the bottom of the ocean, and that's called a carbon sink. So they take all the carbon that they have in their bodies with them. So that is different than a forest, by example, because when the trees are alive, they're absorbing, lots of carbon, and they're doing a great service for the ecosystems. Yet when they die, they start emitting the carbon again. So that's
or even worse sometimes when there's a forest fire. So
yeah, absolutely.
So here we got carbon on the ground. Mm-hmm. Eventually, once it gets covered up and stuff like that, after millennia, can turn into diamonds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coal's. No matter what they say, coal is an old thing. And you know what? When we wrap this up, I got two things that are new, and we need to talk about yesterday. Okay. And one's what has to do with the ocean. Uh-huh. And if you noticed, when I was advertising the show, I had a picture of a guy, an old German guy in lederhosen.
Yes.
It has to do with a story we didn't get to yesterday.
Excellent.
Yes, but it has to do with the ocean too, and I think it was all. Yeah. So back to the whales. The number one was the defecant, and then when they die, their bodies and then going in and mixing and doing that, and then when they die, they're bringing everything. Their carcasses are gone, unless of course, because of horrible things, they beach themselves sometimes with mass beachings. There's been some accusations that it has to do with sonar testing by the United States Navy, and it could be pollution, it could be anything that occurs. Yeah. With but
there are many reasons for it. So it's not necessarily one time. So it's not always necessarily noise, but there are instances that have been connected to sonar activity that have caused breaching. So. It's hard to kind of generalize on what causes a breaching because there's different, and sometimes we don't even know. Lots of times there's a lot of things you don't.
Yeah. But it still makes it worthy of study, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
You had, and the one thing about missing out, you had good news, some good news.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You're not pregnant, right?
No.
Oh, it's not okay.
That would be a miracle.
Yeah, okay. Okay, see, going on Maury and say, Natalie Barefoot, 100%, you are not the mother of that baby. Like that?
Yeah.
How's that possible? Wait.
New podcast.
Yeah, new podcast. You are not. There's nobody pregnant.
Throw it against
Yeah. We're getting a fight. Well, we need video for that.
Yeah.
We can recreate it. You can do it, I think. I was going to bring a mime on.
Oh, gosh. That's hilarious.
You like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in a box right now. Can you see it? Okay. The good news. We get back to the good news about the whales.
So just to circle around with the climate change thing, the work that SETLAW is doing, we're working with Blue Climate Solutions because of this ecosystem services that they provide, we want to encourage places to increase protections through law, SETLAW, so hopefully helping different areas of the world, because once they increase protections for whales, that will allow a healthy, robust population of whales to be there and to help mitigate climate change. So using it as a climate change mitigator.
There's an interesting, if you want to read some TED Talks, there's things people, back in World War II, and this is really crazy history to me, President Roosevelt, when he thought he was going to live a longer life, and he didn't make it through World War II. But he expected when he left the presidency, his project, he wanted to do a de-desertification project in Africa, in Sahara. That was one of the things. Now, what I saw in a TED Talk, an environmental biologist said that they were going to areas that had experienced a lot of drought, and there was just long periods of drought, and they couldn't, and because of the vegetation was dying, whenever there was rain, there was no, it disappeared. So what happened, we stopped doing this. He brought in, and this one particular place put in large grazing herds of goats. Mm-hmm. And it turned up the soil, added bacteria to it, and things like that. And over the course of rain, a couple seasons, he showed a picture side by side in several places where
just the goats.
It comes back, and the scrub grows, and the thing. And when you have the greenery around these dry runs, that the water exists longer,
Yep.
and it gives it an opportunity for more water to exist, and more evaporation, and more things to occur. So there's a way, and a lot of times with environmentalists, we tend to, and I can't, we tend to focus on the gloom, but we can do. I mean, there are ways to where we can make it better, leave a better place than we got, and they have. Some of these things, and they're trying to undo it right now with water purification, the Clean Water Act, fracking, and things like that. There are some rollback, pushback, but I think people like you set law, having a healthy will, higher mammal population is in order. And what could people do? And what could people do to really affect change for at least when it comes to set law, or who should they contact or look for, or website or organization?
Okay, so our website is www.cetaceanlaw.org. I'll spell that.
I'm going to put that on the website.
CETACEANLAW.org. So there's information about the projects we do. You can sign up to get on our email serve. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and all of that. Instagram.
Tumblr?
No.
Twitter? You're on Twitter?
I'm on Twitter.
You see my Twitter stuff?
No, but I will check it out.
Check it out. I got some funny stuff. I got some comedians following me.
We are still slow on the social media, not our strength.
Have you ever heard Jim Gaffigan's bit on the whale? On whales?
I have.
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
But we had been talking about the story of hope with the whales. Mm-hmm. So whales are an incredible story of human horribleness, but human, conservation as well. So we were commercially whaling whales for, their blubber to make oils
for hundreds of years,
hundreds of years. Yeah. There's amazing, incredible history. Anyway, but we whaled whales to the brink of extinction. Some species just almost erased from this earth. And the world got together, and they eventually formed what is now the International Whaling Commission. And through that, we're trying to manage the harvest of whales sustainably, so that they could continue to be harvested down the line. So it was a commercial and economic incentive for the world to get together to protect these whales, but they did. And finally, we got to the moratorium on whaling, so we stopped commercial whaling, except for a few exceptions around the world. And right now, whales have made incredible comebacks. Mm-hmm. Different species much better than others. This past year, I was out on the Pacific coast of North America, in California and up in Canada. Now, there are whale watching companies there that used to never have humpback whales on their menu of species you would see going whale watching. Mm-hmm. And now they are. They said 10, 15 years ago, you wouldn't see a humpback whale. If you saw maybe one or two a season, incredible. Now they're seeing them every day.
I think that's pretty. I think that had to do with Star Trek. I think in Star Trek 3. It was a Star Trek 3?
Four.
Star Trek 4. Captain Kirk and the crew of the Enterprise brought back a humpback whale. Well,
totally.
The Earth would have been destroyed.
It would have
No.
been.
I mean, it's from a conservation effort. I understand that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a movie out. I think that was really. It's based on Joseph Conrad's the true story of Moby Dick. We were talking about
we were talking
In the Heart of the Sea.
Yeah.
A beautiful movie, a really beautiful. I mean, it was brutal. It shows the brutality of whaling, but then, I think in a much like Shakespeare when he wrote Henry V, it was kind of people were thinking that was anti-war. Because some of the speeches he gave, some of the speeches that came in and were saying, I think when Joseph Conrad got that, he may have understood that, there's something more going on to this than just the harvesting of these animals. They are not dumb creatures. They're not there for us to do. And I think some people were more enlightened. It was hard to do it when you're in a time when, imagine 1600s, you walk into a sugar plantation in Haiti and talk up to a French plantation owner and say, those Africans you have working are people.
Yeah.
Not slaves. They have a real culture and they understand. And they look at you like you were an idiot.
Yeah.
No, this is their draft animals.
Yeah.
And I think that, and whether that's a resource, we need well oil. We need well oil. Mm-hmm. We need to have the well oil lit up during the early industrialization. And then, but when petroleum came about in the 1860s, I think it was 1860s, I'm not just a bartender. People started saying, well, we have petroleum now, and then natural gas.
We have replacements for everything that the whales used to provide for us. So.
Yeah, there is. And I think it's a wonderful job you're doing with that, and I appreciate it. I don't want you to keep on doing it.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you for giving me another shot. And also, let's get back to the story. I was working at the bar, and it was Sunday or Monday. Uh-huh. These people come in with a bottle, and inside the bottle was a rolled up note.
Oh, no way!
Yes, they were fishing.
Cool.
Yes. I if it was from 50 years ago, I would have been really impressed. Uh-huh. Well, they had me open the bottle with my corkscrew because it was sealed. They had wax on top and all that stuff. Okay. I guess the person thought it was going to make it across the Atlantic Ocean or something like that.
Oh, no.
And then what happened? After trying, they got the note out, and it was in German.
Oh, wow.
Hence the one there. And then we're looking at it, we think, maybe a little 10-year-old German boy wrote this thing. Right. And after reading, someone says, I understand German. They go, it's my 60th birthday. And I go, oh. Well, that gets kind of weirder. And then he says something about his thing. And then he says something about 2014. He said, 3 years and stuff. No, we dropped this off March 2017.
Oh, no.
Cuba. 3 months. I go, wait, first Cuba. And then I was going, and they gave a return address and all that stuff. Uh-huh. And I thought, wouldn't it be great if we sent a note from the U.S. Department of Environmental Protection and say, there's a $10,000 fine. And we have an extradition treaty with Germany, and we will be there to serve notice.
Oh, that's so mean.
Well, you drop. Hey, that's just me as a joke, you know what I mean? But dropping bottles and stuff we don't need to put any more stuff. That's an antiquated way, a romantic way, but a stupid way. If you consider in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, there's a trash heap the size of Texas floating around there. Mm-hmm. Why would you have to? Why would you drop a bottle? Why don't you could just go on the internet and post a message for everyone and see who'll get it and then send something back to you. You get millions. When you drop a bottle in, you're hoping for someone to find it. Yeah. And then say, well, I don't, and if you really wanted to be fine, I'm thinking a 60-year-old German man, I would have. If the picture of a young, pretty girl like you or someone else would probably make it, elicit a better response.
Oh, no.
If they do find it. No, but I was just like, okay, I want to go and send a message back to this.
It could have been his childhood dream. The 60-year-old man always wanted to do this, and he decided to do it then.
Well, that really makes me feel like a heel now. Because I said, pressure. I always wanted to be punched. I always wanted to be punched by a German milkmaid, and that would be my dream. And it makes it beautiful.
He's doing his bucket list.
Hey, I still have this the thing here with the. I want to see if you still get this. We did this yesterday. It's the same.
Oh God!
You know what? Do you remember them? Do you remember them?
Smarter on it.
Do you remember? Okay.
I don't know if I'll remember all, but I'll definitely have a higher percentage.
And we're going to replay this. This is actually a better show than yesterday. So, the other day, I was. We had a wine rep come in, and the guy went in, and he was real deep describing his stuff in the loamy soil. Brings out the fruit forwardness of this wine, and it really these grapes were harvested at their peak, and blah 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 blah. And I said, I said, yeah, I was saying, stamped by this feet of mestizo slaves and descendants of mestizo slaves, and are paid $3 a day.
It's one of my bucket list things. I want to stomp grapes.
Just like Lucy and I Love Lucy?
Totally.
Okay.
How much fun does that look like?
What color grapes do they use for white wine?
Oh, don't they use red? Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. What makes it red?
Yeah. What? Huh?
What makes wine red?
The skin.
Yes. This is a tough one now.
Okay.
What was the exact? Give me the date of Christmas, 1901. Give me the date in numerical order.
What do you mean, 25th?
12/25, 1901. Okay. I'm just trying to keep you on your sharp game there.
Oh gosh.
Now, that would have been my. That's my sobriety test. Yours took a coffee.
Yeah,
it's
we're
better on the
drinking
show
coffee.
when we're drinking. Yeah, if we're drinking, you're on the ball now.
That's funny.
Okay, we're gonna go. I'm gonna go over these lists of names. It's wine and beer game because I was shocked by some of the. You go in a store and my wife Abby, my lovely wife Abby, likes a Cabernet called Freak Show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but they don't have that Freak Show. There was a movie called Freaks in the 30s. Did you ever hear of it?
No.
It was filmed in the 30s. It's black and white, but I swear to God, if you look at it, it has all the feel and quality of a 1960s high-quality production.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's just like how they recovered the film or anything. It was
cool.
the master of it. It's just... I mean, if you didn't know it was from the 30s, you'd have a hard time placing it because of some of the things, because they didn't really... It could have been one of those ones that were made to look like they were in the 30s.
Yeah.
So, and you're looking at it and go, wow. And every so often you see a movie like it. But they didn't have freaks on. But these names of this stuff, they have no compunction of picking a name or putting anything weird on it. I'm going to start off with one. These are real or fake ones, okay?
Wines or beers.
Wines or beers. And I'm going to mix them up here.
I know. I have the advantage because we did this yesterday.
Okay. And I hope try to empty your mind.
I'm emptying.
Empty your mind. Think of, what do you think of? What would really empty your mind and get you saying? God, I don't even know. My mind is so empty. It's
so
empty. Okay. I'm going to go. We'll start with them. Optimus Prime, Dirty Uncle.
Optimus Prime.
Is what?
Real.
Okay.
I'm going to say the real ones.
Okay. Are you going to say the real ones?
Yeah.
Black Plague, Polygamy Porter.
Polygamy Porter.
Correct. Obstinate Nun, My Wife is Bitter.
Ooh, My Wife is Bitter.
That's a real one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I was less...
Recalcitrant Priest, Fat Bastard.
Fat Bastard. I drank that.
Nasty Crotch, Broke Ass.
Oh, goodness.
Now remember, some of these are really disgusting.
Yeah,
you know that one of them is, and you're going to say we're going to get to one that you're going to say they're both equally as bad.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Broke Ass, but I don't feel totally.
It's Broke Ass.
Is it? Nice.
Okay, a broken condom or panty peeler.
I totally remember this, and it's panty peeler because they were both so gross, and I actually thought you could have a lot more fun with broken condom advertising.
Oh, there's one called Oops. There's a wine called Oops, and that would really compliment the broken condom. After that, you can serve it up 2 weeks later.
Yeah, I mean,
it should come up. It should come with the
condom
with that. No, that medicine.
Oh, the Plan B.
Yeah. Broken condom comes with Plan B on the side. Whoa, we're definitely. I was going to go and try to get some promotion from the Catholic Church. I think I'm done. That right there.
Yeah.
Okay, smelly hobo or butt face.
Oh, I think it's butt face because I picked.
It is butt face.
Yeah.
Santa's butt or It's a Wonderful Wine.
Santa's butt because it should be It's a Wonderful Wine. My memory is
Shiva. You have an excellent one. I can't remember. Shiva Shiraz or Hebrew. Brew. Hebrew's a woman?
Yeah.
Dong Gonger or Foreskins?
Oh, Foreskins, because I thought it should be Dong Gonger.
Darn it. Okay, Well Hung or Big Package?
Ooh, Well Hung.
Oh,
I got it?
Yeah. Eau de Pissoir.
Oh, yeah.
Water of toilet water. Toilet water of toilet water. Le Vin de Merde, which is French for wine of shit.
Poop wine. We're going to go with Le Vin de Merde.
Okay.
I got that one wrong.
Oh my gosh, you haven't got it. You're 100%. But you know what? This is your crib sheet. This is like the. Okay.
But I also did it afterwards. We did it on air, and then I did it with the ladies beside me because I thought it was so funny.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
You got the sheet?
Midnight. Yeah, you gave me the sheet.
How did I get it back?
Because I didn't steal it from you. I gave it back to you.
Oh, I'm going to give this to you then.
Aw, thank
I
you.
got it. Well, I got it on my thing. I'll give you the whole thing.
It's a fun game to play
No, but I'll keep
around the
it.
dinner table.
Okay, well, the last one. Bung's hole, Australia, or anus.
It's anus, right?
Anus
It
the truth.
should
Anus
be-
the dream.
it
Anus.
should be
Anus.
Bung's
Bung's
hole,
hole.
because I
It
think
sounds
it's
like
beautiful.
it sounds like an Australian.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be some place you sit by and drink some Australian porter while you're playing didgeridoo and chasing off the dingoes while they're trying to eat your baby.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, Bung's hole.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I appreciate you giving me this chance to come in and do this. And
It's been fun yet again.
let's hit that email the website again.
Okay. www.cetan. Excuse me. I'm
going to put it on my website.
Totally screwed up there. So www.cetanlaw.org.
We're not drinking right
CETANLAW.org. So that's cetaceanlaw.org. And guess what? If you go to CETLAW.org, it will redirect you to my website too. Because
That reminds me of a story. Since you brought it up, I'm going to tell it. A friend of mine was in a lawsuit and he had to go to a mediation. Uh-huh. His wife got in an accident with a guy who happened to be an Asian Indian, and I don't make fun of people's accents, but sometimes when you're in a court environment, it's very interesting. Mm-hmm. And they were taking testimony in front of a mediator, and they had a stenographer there. And they ask the guy his name, and he goes, it's HKHANAKHRNAKHRNTNKH. And the people go, what? Stenographer? And so, could you write that down? And the guy grabs his lawyer pen. Uh-huh. And he writes it on his hand.
Oh no!
And the stenographers ask, "Can we take him to the copy machine and copy his hand?" And they said they lost it right then.
Oh my goodness!
Yes. Yeah, and it's much like when you got a bunch of letters and all of a sudden That's why I have a company called Keys Baby Rentals. Mm-hmm. Real simple.
You can rent a baby?
No.
That's great. If
No.
you're on vacation, you want to test out a baby.
You don't rent babies. You know what? It's irresponsible. It's better to lease a baby because there's more responsibility. No, it's for vacationers to rent cribs and pack and plays and high turn.
Smart.
I'm smart. I know stuff.
Smart.
Like Fredo. And then I named my show Keys Bartender because I'm a bartender in the Keys. And that's what, yeah. And you know what? You can find it. I'm going to post on a Facebook page a connection so you can find Natalie's group, the Set Law group, and you can just hit on it, and we'll put it with this show. And I'm sure we're going to have Natalie back. She was really fun, and I think you're a natural for this, and I appreciate it. Next week, I am starting this. I am going to be broadcasting or cruise casting.
Cruise casting.
Yeah, cruise casting. We'll be talking to we'll have a representative of Carnival, Mike Pack, the cruise director, and we're going to, we're just going to go over those things for people that may not necessarily. I know it sounds shameless promotional, but a lot of people don't go on it and they don't get a chance to see it. But I'll tell you, I have a great time on a cruise and stuff like that. And sometimes my wife and my friends, they get angry when I start talking to people.
Oh, yeah?
I love it. I love meeting people. I love meeting new people. And not in rejection. I like to meet new people, say, hey, meet these people. Here's my friends, and stuff to bring up. So
I'd be curious to see if the bartenders on the cruise ships, if they have, different experiences from terrestrial bartenders, what kind of stuff.
Oh, you mean what we're doing?
Yeah.
Well, I imagine. No, I imagine that you'd still want to. I hope this is still recording. Is it? Yes, it's still recording. I would imagine that it'd be harder to throw people out of your establishment.
Oh, that's so true.
Because you're in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah. How do you manage
you could.
people?
There's a threat, and you go. Do you ever see It's Wonderful Life?
Yes.
Remember when guy Nick's in Martini and he gets his load of Clarence and George Bailey and finally says, he goes and says, that's enough. Enough of you pixies here. Out the door or out the window.
I
always want to say, I never done that.
Oh.
Well, I can't say that. I've lost my cool a couple times. But you know what? It's always, it's all right to admit, admit when we're wrong.
Yeah.
And
it happens.
It happens. Losing my cool sometimes is a bad thing. And I don't know why I'm finishing up the show like that. We're going on a cruise. It's going to be from the 22nd to 30th. Hopefully I won't wind up on locked up abroad. Some of those countries look horrible to go in there in prison. I'm 53 years old right now. I think I'm in the older part of one of the prisoners, so I might be respected.
Uh-huh.
No?
It depends what you do, right?
No, what I mean, respected by the inmates.
Yeah. But
I would tell them.
Doesn't a crime also, you're either going to be respected or not?
I'll say I'm going to be extradited for mass murder. I'll say I'm a war criminal from the Balkans. What do you think?
That they found floating at
sea. He found me. I go like, I was hidden.
A computer taped to my
chest.
I'm
a warlord. I'm a warlord in the Balkans.
Awesome.
Yeah. They don't know. They probably never met anybody from Serbia in some of those places. Or that could be where they're all hanging out in that prison, and they'll be screwed. And
then you'll see, Yeah,
and then I won't be respected. And they go, you're not General Milosevic or President Milosevic. That's okay. That's it. Thank you, Natalie. That's it we went 46 minutes. I was just going to 20.
Right?
Hey, better than last week. All right, the last one.
Isn't it 45 minutes that you normally do?
It doesn't have to be perfect. I can do an hour.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, that's it. Thank you very much. Say bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
It's a pleasure. See you later, Orca.
Bye.
Yeah.